Hello there. I'm going to go ahead and play today a Mortician's Tale, which is a death positive game about the funeral industry, apparently. So, this is going to be something new and different for me. Apparently, it's more of a interactive story than a game, is what I'm kind of reading online. But I love interactive stories, so not sure how I'm going to present this. I've been trying to figure out how to do interactive fiction a little better. I actually spent 2.5 hours in one stream just speaking the game, like the text of the game aloud. I'm not sure if that's what I should do here. But let me just start a new game and I'll see, how it flows. Okay. So it looks like I've got this mail over here. Not sure if there's anywhere else I can interact with, so looks like I'll go over there. Okay, so there is a lot of email here, and I don't know if I should actually read all this. I guess I can summarize. So this is from someone I work with. Oh, a funeral director at the Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Welcome, Charlie. So my name's Charlie. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., Funeral Director, Ross and Daughters Funeral Home. And then, hello and welcome to our new funeral director was from Amy. So, basically it's Amy talking about me. I am a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin my career here with the Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. All right, so I guess we're having a catered lunch today. That's excellent. All right, looks like that's that set of emails. And then instructions from Amy Rose, the owner of the funeral home. You're new here, so your office prep room, you'll find the cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. So I know you have experience working with these, but please let me know if you have questions. All right, and then Jen Love. I guess my subject lines, you should start being more professional now. Oh, looks like good luck, you beautiful and smart baby you. I guess Jen's a good friend of mine. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think that much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you're now a very serious professional. And then I find out about Jen, my friend. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a funerals monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you. I'm super proud of you. Oh, the I love you. I'm super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L., Museum Curator, London Pathology Museum. Okay, I've got tasks. Hello, Charlie. Hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon, Amy. And then from Mia Garcia, she had the request. Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated, and we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments to be counter to the way she lived. Thank you for anything you can do to help us in this matter. And Amy's like, of course we can. So that's when she sent that to me. And then finally, oh, I should auto reply. Sure thing, I'll get right to it. So there is now a body there. So I'm going to go over. This is the prep room while you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Okay? Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over the body to clean it. That's it, you're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it is also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Alright, looks like there's these different folks I can interact with. Let's interact with this person who is by the casket. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I was always taught. Oh, so that must be Matthew. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss the sweater she used to knit for me now. Okay, so these probably aren't going to have more than one thing to say, so let's check them out. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Aww. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain. At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. Yep. Okay. So I can't have a snack. That's okay. What about these folks? She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's... yeah, I guess. Hey, how you doing? Let's see. She's just kissing the casket. Aw, Charlie, you are good. Alright, so it looks like I'm gonna probably get new, okay. Let's go see what the next body probably is. Or I am so frustrated right now. Oh, it's from my friend. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. All right, so Jennifer, my friend, this is the one that's at the museum, I assume. Oh, hold on just a minute. So, so this is talking about some pathology at the Pathology Museum. Um, So it's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant. So, TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. So, let's see. So, oh, was this a reply to her other thing? Yeah, okay, so hold on. So she already had written you. Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, cough, male colleagues, cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Ugh, sorry. I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. Alright, so next job. Oh my goodness. Oh, no, Jen's my friend. Okay, wait. So what to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. Okay, so this is really cool. Like, I'm not gonna go through all this, but it's really cool that this game is presenting you, like with, like, you don't have to read it. Well, or maybe you do. Maybe it opens up a choice later in the game, but so this is talking about what to wear to different funerals. Um, so it talks about Hindu and Chinese cultures here. So they're just talking about being respectful. So, um, as I am streaming and also chit chatting in the chat, I'm actually not gonna like totally read this aloud. I'm just gonna kind of skim it. Oh, and they do talk about Islamic and Sikh funerals. Nice. Okay. And then this is from Matthew. He's my fellow um, funeral director, or the hearse driver. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff. Messed me and my friends up real good. But so, the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, I'm just going to read like the rest of the story on my own a little faster. Oh, this is a really sad story. I'm going to actually read this, and well, I don't know how this works. I am saying this is a good story to like get an idea of what it feels like to work in the death industry. So that's. And then Mia Garcia to Amy Rose, please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. And then my boss is awesome, and she forwarded that to me. All right, so my next job. So here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duvall. An elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duvall, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. All right. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew. He knows. Aw. Okay. So I have a really good boss, basically. Oh, there's another tab to that computer, isn't there? Rosie and daughter's funeral. Oh, it's a web page or something. So Amelia Rose, founder and director. Wow. This is cheaper actually than I thought. We're committed to providing loved ones with the best and most affordable funeral services in the area. Huh. I would have thought it would be cheaper. Alright. Did I not read enough? Did I not reply? Maybe I didn't reply. I'll get right on it. Okay, so I need to remember to wear my embalming gloves. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. So, go ahead and clean the body like we did before. Okay. Click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, in order to break rigor mortis, you'll have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that part of it. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. Interesting. Into each eye socket. Didn't I do that? Oh, that's cotton balls. Eye caps. Okay. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Okay. There we go. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread over the jaw to close it. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Okay. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make the incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it into the neck incision. Okay, and then click on the cannula and drag it onto the carotid artery. This is how you'll get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. So I guess that goes there. Now you'll need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Now you'll need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Okay. Thought I did that. Drag it to the cannula. Oh, there we go. Okay. Click the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them through the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Okay. Alright. I will say that so far I'm not having the most entertaining time. Like, I like the story aspects, but like the game aspects are a little bit awkward. I mean, I guess it's to feel like you're doing these tasks. But to me, it just feels like I need to like drag my mouse over a body. Which is what I'm doing. Great, now let's sew up that incision. Click and drag the needle and thread to close up the incision. Alright. Okay, almost done. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar. That's this thing. No, that's this thing. And then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. There's my train. Do you guys hear my train? Not sure if you can from the really crappy microphone that I have. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duvall's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then next, poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. Huh, so weird how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah, yeah. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Humming to himself, yeah. And then what's up with this guy? I bow to all of them. Well, that is really good of me. And then I can go back and read more email, is my assumption. Oh, it's the next day. Or a different day. Back to my email. So, this is from Funerals Monthly. If you've been a longtime subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care, and this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the FROT directive: enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters into a world of issues, since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased gender identity as they lived it. So it is a step in the right direction. So, there's a lot more here. This is cool. I mean, people who are trans deserve the same respect in death. So that's pretty sweet that that is an email we're getting. So I got sent from Matthew. Paycheck coming late. Sorry. Oh, this must be from Britain. I got paycheck with the CHEQUE. This is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income, and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you that it won't happen again. And then Matthew, okay, from Matthew to Charlie. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse through the drive-thru. Of course, it freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. So then my friend writes me, dating advice, death industry. You can date people in the death industry. Apparently I broke up in 2014 with somebody and haven't gone out with anybody since then. So basically she's saying hey, date someone in the death industry. So on their next Skype date, they're going to have a bottle of wine. And if you sign up for Dead Meat, Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Okay. And then passing on this lovely thank you note. Okay. From the Duvall family. And then, hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Okay, I'm on it. So now I learn about cremation. Alright. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process so as not to damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Great, Mrs. Hall is all set to be cremated now. So I'm going to start this, and that coffin with her body will go in there. Okay. Did that. I'm going to go back to here. Seems to be my only choice right now. Some more emails. No, not more emails. Was I supposed to like respond to somebody and didn't? Or oh wait, it's the urn. I missed the urn. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Click on the urn and drag it in the cremulator under the nozzle. Okay. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. Okay, bone fragments. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back onto the counter. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn. Don't forget the tag. Click on the round identification tag and drag it to the urn. Last step, click on the urn's lid and drag it on top of the urn. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. So it is time to go back out. This is nice in a weird way. She'd like that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. And I'm going to bow to the urn because I am a good person. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. Well, I tried. Alright, now it's like a couple months later. I guess it's Valentine's? Might have said it was Valentine's. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it is Valentine's Day. From Funeral Monthly. So, environment, natural cemeteries are becoming more popular, which is interesting. So it's better for the environment, but it's also it's cheaper. Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore preserved natural habitats. Interesting. This is a very liberal game in the sense of being into environmental issues and equity issues like transgender, respect for transgender people in their deaths as well as in their lives. So Jen, my friend Jen, Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. So, did you send me the game? Or is it just, okay. Ryan Garcia to Amy Rose. Hi Amy, I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother has lived a full good life and was very happy and that she's not in any pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. So Amy forwarded that on to me. So that's from the first funeral that we did. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You are a treasure, Charlie. And then, hi Amy, I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. And then Amy sent on that thank you note to me, because that was about the cremation funeral, I think. Hi Charlie, please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. You asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Okay. So Amy Rose, word about the future. Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email. Okay. So basically, they can't make ends meet, rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. So same building, same name, and they're keeping the name, okay, for tax purposes. Amy believes cynically that they're just trying to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. So she basically ducked. She's like, I wish we could have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. So I will take care of this cremation with the pacemaker. Looks like my boss isn't going to be as cool soon. Mr. A's came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. A's had a pacemaker that we'll need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Ray's pacemaker. Click and drag the scalpel over the heart to make an incision. Oh, right here. They gave me the spot. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to click and drag the pacemaker out of the heart. Put the forceps away, then place the round identification tag in the coffin, like before. Mr. A's is all set to be cremated now. So I'm going to push the buttons and he will get cremated. Alright, and then I have an urn. Using the cremulator, we'll break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Oops. Boom. I remember what to do. Come on. Lid. Alright, all done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Alright. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. And despite the fact that he didn't seem like he cared about people, I will still grant him that respect. Charlie, thank you for doing that. Okay, it's like 2 weeks later. And I assume that we've already been bought. I have a new boss, I assume. Or, okay, we still have her. So this funeral monthly, the best way to deliver this month's advice, what not to say at a funeral. Okay. So here's a list of things not to say at a funeral. At least they're no longer suffering. It's not our place to say that. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Were they saved? No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting. 3 is they're with the angels now, which is just like the religion stuff. Let me know how I can help. Try to do specific things, and I know how you feel. You don't know how they feel. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied in any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. So for my best friend, you hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. There's a biodegradable suit that the deceased can wear. It's made with what people call a biomix. So it like composts. Helps to neutralize toxins in the body and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. Yeah, okay. Oh, and there's mushrooms in it too. I don't know. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. So she's just thinking her best friend works in the death industry somewhat in her own way as a museum curator. So curator. All right, so Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation, yet anyways, they're never easy. Rose and daughters have been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes. So his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. And then the good day, Ms. Rose. Disregard her son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. And then thought I'd pass this along to you. I just want to thank you for the service the other month and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. So I will deal with the suicide. So I will go there. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral, so I do all that cleaning. Let's start by cleaning the body. I guess this part, like, I get doing it once to learn. I guess you are doing the simulator, basically. I don't know. Insert eye caps into each eye socket. So I'm just finishing up this body prep. Oh, I gotta do it in a row. Okay. Whoops. Awkward. And it has to go up too. Oh gosh. Okay. that tube. Oops. This goes in here. And then turn on the embalming machine. Okay. Well, I'm glad massaging I can kind of do it less well than the moisturizing. There we go. Whoops. Let's see. I'm trying. Honestly, especially because, you know, I don't have the greatest hand-eye coordination, this is actually taking me out of the respect aspect and the learning about the trade aspect. It's kind of bringing me out of what I think that I need to be feeling. But oops, didn't finish. There we go, all done. Mike will take care of Mr. Scott's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. Which means this is probably going to get disturbing as far as what people have to say, especially since the parents were not being very respectful. They're crying. I wish we were closer. Wow, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. I heard it wasn't going to be open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know, been able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that. I know. It hurts. Yeah, I know. I'm glad Charlie has that respect. Alright. March 3rd. So, let's see. From Chad here, we'll read it this way. So pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprise culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. Okay. So they're about to, like, make things unpleasant. Probably from Matthew Jeffries. To me, what the hell? Can I just say first off that this is bullcrap? Ugh, knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 Feet Under. Which, by the way, since we're pausing for a moment to say 6 Feet Under is an excellent, excellent show. If you subscribe to HBO Max or whatever it's called, check out 6 Feet Under. It's truly worth it, and I'm sure it holds up even though it's like a decade old or 15 years old or something, but it's really good. Swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. So then from Funerals Monthly, we talk about different funeral traditions, like different ways of cleaning the body, different ways of, but the goal is almost always the same for religion, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. So they talk about Judaism. In South Korea, it's more of a I'm not sure. Okay, not all practices are somber. Death can be a difficult time for many people, but that doesn't mean there isn't a beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. So there's a lot of info here. And then Jen, can't really write much right now. That's my friend. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, the event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. So there's this death cafe. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. So it sounds like it's a party for people to meet at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." All right, so here we are from Chad Grant. Charlotte. My name's Charlie, buddy. Below are the details of our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you're done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Oh, whoops, I forgot to say I would do it. I'll get right to it. So this poor bicyclist got hurt pretty bad, it sounds like. Prepare Ms. Ionesco's body for cremation. Remove Ms. Ionesco's watch and place it on the tray. Place the tag in the coffin. Having trouble just doing that. Great, she's set to be cremated now. And I know how to finish that process. So I will go to the urn. And I will put the urn in here. And I will throw bones in here. I will take the urn and I will put this in it. Whoops. This in it. I keep forgetting it has to go like right here. And then right here. Okay, Matthew will take Ms. Ionesco's urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. So I will go out there as well. we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No thanks. I mean, but no, I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah. Yeah, she was special. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask, Leah. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all of this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. So now it's March 24th. I am guessing that my new boss is not as nice. Alright, so funerals monthly, why do we do it? The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be very comforting. So, basically this is just talking about how, before people used to take care of their own deceased, but now it happens at a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option to do a home funeral. Basically this is like, so death positive, this is a very death positive newsletter. It talks about another interesting aspect of death industry culture, the home funeral. I just saw a video, this is from Jen, my friend. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs like a human being. Charlie, a human being. We as a species have seen the beginnings of our end. So it sounds like she just saw Planet of the Apes. So Chad is telling me the contract with the city. I'm proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the more cost-efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. So, all right, and then green burial prop. Hello, Charlotte. I've reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. And then from Matthew, Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry, and no, I will not say hangry ever. Except you just did, but... So Chad sent us a bunch of rules. First and foremost, there's a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Also, no tattoos are to be visible. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner Catering Concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can be easily defrosted the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated is known for. So I'll take care of it. I will say this game makes me wonder then if there really is so obviously there's a place for home burials, green burials, like being respectful to transgender people. Like, obviously there's this culture out there. Why couldn't Charlie, I mean, I know that Amy Rose was having trouble because it sounded like she may have been having health issues too, but couldn't like Charlie go off and be like, well, my business is just going to be the people that want green burials or home funerals or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a thought I have while playing. Before we cremate this gentleman, we'll need to prepare his body. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would be damaged during cremation. So let's just worry about putting his identification tag into the coffin with him. Place the round identification tag in the coffin. This gentleman is all set to be cremated now. Now, my question there is, just from before, so if a pacemaker, how do you, I mean, I understand the dude's homeless, but how do you know he doesn't have a pacemaker? I guess is my question. Oops, place her in it, and I forgot. Alright, all done. Matthew will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. So we'll head out here. There's nobody here, so we're gonna bow to the urn, as we should. April 9th. Alright, what email do I have? Alright, water everywhere from Funerals Monthly. So traditional cremation burials take a huge toll on the environment. But water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious. Water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali in water heated up very high. Basically works like a sped up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory, and alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. From Jen Love. Oh, dating a special effects makeup artist. Hello, spam person in my chat. And she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. So that was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you'd lost your taste. Her name is Lily, death positive, isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like that last dude I saw, Jason, Michael, Guy, I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. So she likes that. So we just clicked, feels good, fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? You know, you have my support 100% no matter what you decide. Ooh, I wonder if I basically said exactly to Jen exactly what I, as a person playing this, saw. Let's see. Charlie, it's official. I put in my 2 weeks notice. This is from Matthew. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a little bit more freely. Then Chad telling me we're thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. Oh my God. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated's bright and sustained future. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. Okay, so dear Mr. Grant, regarding last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. And then Chad's like, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. Basically, it's a bunch of bullshit that isn't death positive. So, okay. So, sure thing, I'll get right to it. Please see the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly. Oh, just like what he said. I got it. Sure, I'll get right to it. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. Okay, I'm gonna clean the body again. Oh my God, do I have to go through this again? I mean, I assume the end of the story is soon. I'll try to do this as quickly as I can. Okay, boom. Ooh, I did a little better this time. Insert eye caps. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. See, I feel like I'm playing this game and I shouldn't be resorting to like boom, boom. I got this done. I got this done. I mean, I get it. This is really annoying, though. Okay. Oh, whoops. No, not yet. And then... Oh, I have to do this some more. Okay. Oh my gosh, I still have to do it. Okay. Okay. And then sewing. And finally, this thing. All done. Mike will take care of Mrs. Dimka's makeup as well as dressing, blah, 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 blah. So, go in here. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. It would be good to stretch my legs. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that Chad guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Sniff. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Me too. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh, hey, what did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh, yeah, I've heard that show is so good. I saw that video, the one kid actor doing karaoke. August 30th. Wow, that's a big long time away. I'm in my own office, aren't I? I'm doing exactly what I predicted I would be doing about 20-30 minutes ago. From Amy Rose, congratulations. Charlie dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. From Matthew Jeffrey. You'll never believe what new job I am working now. Open this email to find out. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree, and thankfully I concentrated my driving skills since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver, a school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? So yeah, so Matthew likes being a bus driver. Congratulations on your new business. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally, being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying to not be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for a visit and to check out your new space. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. From Eileen Hansen to Charlie. Dear Charlie, today is the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. Best, Eileen Hansen. I'll see you soon. Oh, yay. That's great. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much, but thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. A Mortician's Tale. Well, that was pretty cool. The game aspects of it were actually the part that I enjoyed the least. No, even the long emails like about the different, burial methods and respect, and I know I didn't read every single word in this stream, but I enjoyed reading that stuff, and I also liked how the narrative played out in the emails. But I truly did not enjoy the repetitive aspect of getting the bodies prepared. Like, doing it once as a thing, I think was good to get an idea of the tasks involved and to just experience that. But the fact that I had to do it several times, especially in the case of like massaging the body, where and this is just a mechanic thing, like I couldn't even like wipe my hand over it. I had to do it like each dot in order. And I have bad hand-eye coordination. My shtick is that I'm bad at video games, remember? So I would say that it's a good story. I love creative ways of talking about topics that I know about. I definitely learned a lot through playing this game. So I mean, what would I do? I would say like 3 out of 5 for gameplay, and then like 4 or 5 out of 5 for what it was trying to do in story and all that. So I really liked the aspect of her friend who worked in a paleontology, or what was it, pathology museum. I thought that was pretty cool to have some of those details as well. So thank you. It has been really fun doing this stream. Talk to you later.